The Shadow of Courage was the third segment of the first season of the classic Cartoon Network's program, which is to say, it was the first half of the second episode. It came right after A Night at the Cat's Motel, a straight-up horror story with comedic elements thrown in it to balance its younger audience's availability factor, and Cajun Granny Stew, a walkie chase cartoon that tonally clashes with the established frightfulness of the previous segment. At this point in time, the show was still trying to figure out exactly what it wanted to be, and, to some degree, it kept trying to figure that out through its entire run. I've already explained my reservations about this series in my review of Human Habitrail, but the gist of it is that I believe Courage the Cowardly Dog was always more interesting because of its concepts and surrealistic elements rather than its actual writing and execution, as most episodes turn out to be merely okay, if not downright confounding in some specific cases. This episode, on the other hand, was one of the best for its creative use of wall shadow tricks, perfectly timed over-the-top reactions, always a strong point of the cartoon, and for establishing a recurring narrative formula for the whole show. Threat approaches household, Courage tries and fails to warn his owners, thus becoming the only one that can stop it, intel retrieval from the supercomputer that inexplicably lives in the attic, climax, and finally, a resolution. The threat in question is, as the title suggests, a shadow on the loose bent on scaring people for fun after he gained his freedom from an old greedy rich guy who died at the height of his hubris.
The moon looks good enough to buy, Jennings. What a nice addition it would make to my collection. Jennings! I can't move. I'm free! Muriel!
Eventually, Courage convinces him to become a shadow of a literal star, which would feel like an out-of-nowhere proposition if the episode didn't cleverly foreshadow this very solution right at the beginning, when the old man was admiring the night sky with his cartoonishly large telescope. Overall, this is a classic episode with some classically funny moments mostly derived from the then available creative tools of animation rather than the writing itself. Again, this is where the show was at its strongest.
Things I do for love. Hey, Shadow! Are you down there?
This review was commissioned by Michael Foy on Patreon. If you would like to sustain my activities on the interwebs, please consider leaving some tips into the figurative jar. I shall now dance for your amusement.
But if you touch me or even get near me, I'll have you arrested. Do you hear me? Dot is a nut, so they call her macadamia. She's cracked in the head and kooky in the brainia. Each line in the song sounds pretty much the same. Oi, macadamia. Donde que pasa, Nintendo macadamia? Oh, la que pasa, you grande sacabrania. Kia copelo from us, we abstainia. Oi, macadamia.
To be annoying. I act like a nut, so they call me macadamia. I dance like a klutz on a show called Animania.